Wait a minute, this isn't a current Steeler game. Yep, we're going back in time today. The 2002 Pittsburgh Steelers were a team somehow in transition and an AFC powerhouse. Coming off an AFC Championship game loss to the Patriots the year prior, and being less than 10 games into the Tommy Maddox era, and boy, the phrase Tommy Maddox era fills me with some dread, the Steelers rode into Week 14 at 7-5-1. Our opponents, the newly acquired expansion team, led by Hall of Fame quarterback David Carr, the Houston Texans. Sporting a whopping 4-9 record so far, this has all the makings of a... Texans start out actually moving the ball. Well, that is until... You know, I gotta say, this offense actually looks better than I expected right out of the gate. Tommy Gunn's actually moving them down the field. Why is this a Let's Watch Pittsburgh episode, Gage?
Tommy Maddox in one touchdown. Cordell Stewart, two, actually.
Hand pass from Caldwell. Here's Maddox running with some open space in front of him. Loses the football.
Scooped up at the 5-yard line. 21 down the sideline. Touchdown, Texans.
Good God. This kind of shit is why This kind of shit is what Tommy tends to get remembered for. I mean, he wasn't a miserable quarterback, necessarily, but you always felt like he was on the verge of throwing a pick or fumbling the ball. It was kind of like with Ben, except that, you know, Ben was actually good. Bill Cowher teams and kicking a door until it breaks. Name a more iconic duo. The run game isn't even doing super well, but the passing game's actually been pretty good outside of one bad play. Maddox doing a great job of putting the ball in the correct spots. Good God. The Texans' defense has more yards on interception returns than their entire offense. We've been dominating, and we're losing by 2 scores. 14-0. At least the running game's starting to show signs of life. Amos Zaraway starting to get involved. Like, there's no way that Dom Capers' defense can withstand this shit for 4 quarters.
Costly turnovers that have gone the other way for touchdowns. Maddox, throw, open, Randall L. He loses the football.
Well, they can't if that keeps happening. In case you're wondering if the Steelers playing down to competition was a new problem, fumbles, touchdown Tommy turning into turnover Tommy, and the tanking Texans currently whooping our ass despite being statistically dominated in nearly every category but turnovers. So then the Texans were like, you gave us 2 fumbles and a terrible interception. You've been far too kind. We'll punt the ball back to you. And then the Steelers were like, oh, well, let's have a punting competition. And then the Texans were like, you're on. And then eventually Houston wins the punting competition with their 4th in a row, and the ball goes back to the best defensive quarterback of all time, Tommy Maddox. We get a couple nice completions, kick a field goal, and after what feels like 3 fucking days, it's halftime.
Hey you, I know you're probably fast forwarding this segment and that's cool, but if you didn't, just a friendly reminder that your favorite YouTube show can't make ad revenue. So if you want there to be a future for 5-Star, you gotta slide over to Patreon at patreon.com/5SMU and drop $4 or $7 in the jar. That's like $30 for the rest of the season. I know you can swing it. You get a free welcome gift and Discord access where you can chat with me and the rest of the gang live during games. Do it. Now roll the game.
So after an entire half of the Steelers winning and yet somehow losing by multiple scores, how do they respond? They keep putting together these solid drives until something inevitably goes wrong. This time it's just asking Tommy to make a throw that requires talent. Jeff, paper over plastic Reed, at least makes this an 8-point game. Defense has been absolutely suffocating. That's what, 6 punts in a row? 7? Great job, guys. Alright, we can actually go down and tie this game up. We have a real chance to get back into... Oh no, we're already punting. Well, that's a bummer. The Texans' offense should honestly just kneel it 3 times and punt it back like that team in The Waterboy. Tell me I'm wrong.
He takes a knee. By kneeling down 3 times and punting, he's going to make the Mud Dog offense try to beat him.
This is the kind of football game that a certain demographic of old men love. We get a couple nice completions, and we're finally in striking range of a touchdown. And the second Tommy finally gets us to the end zone, Plexico drops the ball. This summarizes the offense in this game perfectly, where just nothing works in sync. Follow it up with Tommy missing yet another open receiver, and we gotta bring Jeff, towel before dishonor Reed, back on to give us a meaningless field goal. And he missed it. Of course he did, why wouldn't he? God, is anything gonna go right in this game? Does it even matter what the Texans offense does? David Carr is offensive cancer. Tommy with maybe the worst sack I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, holy Moses, I would have turned the TV off at this moment. We got one drive left. Tommy, you gotta go down and just get one goddamn touchdown, and we're right back in this game. Oh, fuck off.
And if you're still here, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. And if you haven't contributed on Patreon yet, what are you waiting for? Get over there now. Patreon.com/5SMU for just $4 or $7 a month. You get an invite to our private Discord server, and you get to support your favorite YouTube show for less than the price of a cup of coffee a month. Do it!